My name is Sam Tennant, and I am the warehouse manager. I just got a phone call one day saying, hey, do you want to make some extra money? You want to help out? You'll only be seasonal. And then I just never left.
I mean, I hired Sam Tennant on a whim, kind of reached out to him when we moved to Kansas City. Saw he had plugs, and it was just like, he seemed like a nice guy. I was like, hey man, if you're looking for a job, we're hiring, even if it's just for the holidays. He's like, yeah, sure, I'll come by and work. And he started working and never left. Tennant is the one directly between Joe and Laura and myself. So, top of bullshit mountain.
I give an extra hand to the ones in need. If someone's struggling to keep up with their task, I'm there. That means going and grabbing some orders, entering some stuff into our system, answering the phone when I'm needed.
At one point, he was doing everything that there was to do in the company. He knows how to do some people's jobs better than those people do.
His job is to make sure that everybody's doing the job the way that he would do it or the way that I would do it.
He also makes sure everyone else is on target, because I can't be up there all day.
Yeah, he's like the glue that keeps us all together.
He works really hard to make sure that everyone else's job is as easy as it can be.
That's what makes him a great manager. That's why we made him a manager, because we're like, you got this shit. And he does way better than I did, so, hurts my pride a little bit. But at the same time, it's great because, like the student is better than the teacher, and that's all the teacher could want, but you're like, ah!
The reason I tend to be the one with the jack of all trades is I was trained by Sam and Laura, so they put me there to answer those questions knowing I would have the same answers as them.
In the same way that, I have 8 years of doing this under my belt, well, if he has 2.5 and everybody else has like less than a year or less than 2 years or whatever, then he's probably gonna be the guy who's experienced at least something along those lines before, or knows me well enough to say, well, I think Sam would say to do this.
Well, I think a lot of people respect Tennant more or less just because he's kind of been here forever.
Everyone does respect him for that because he has been here a long time, and he's, from being here, he had to prove why he wanted to be here. In the beginning, there was this thing that Sam had him do some homework one day where it was like, write an essay as to why you want to be here. And he went home and he did it. When I was told that story, I was like, wow, he really wants to be here. It's pretty cool to have someone else that isn't, an owner of the company invest that much of themselves into something.
The best part about working at Plug Your Holes is probably getting to hang out with a ton of buds who have like the same interests.
Coming here, Tennant was the first employee I had to deal with and learn to work with, and I never really ever had a problem with him.
Tennant's just really easygoing. I think he's a very amicable person in that he doesn't really want conflict with anybody.
He handles things in a way that's like very objective, and he separates things. He's like, this is what's happening, here's what's going on, here's how I think we should execute the solution, here's how I feel about it.
But the second something's wrong, he just be like, hey, so yeah, man, you really stink, but it's cool. You just gotta fix it, man. It's cool.
He doesn't yell at you. He's just like that hushed, quiet tone of it just hurts your soul, and you're like, oh. But he's super nice about it too. You never feel like he's gonna hold it against you. So it's really rational. Will set you straight, but it's still your bud. And he's got a good heart.
I'm usually telling jokes.
Always super funny, real dry sense of humor. Which works for me, and I imagine that if you think he's funny, you probably think he's hilarious, and if you don't think he's funny, you're probably an idiot.
Sometimes I don't catch when he makes jokes, and then I'll kind of look at him and I'll be like, was that a joke? And I'll look at him and then he'll just be like,
in the beginning of his band song, he put a recording of him going to the bathroom, and he put that on the TV, and I was just like, is that really the sound of someone shitting? He knows how to play around, but he knows how to shut it off, and it's really hard to find people that know how to flip on the, hey, let's joke about something, let's watch a funny video on YouTube, but once that video's over, it's back to work.
My first week here, we worked in a building that an old man named Guard lived above us. So one day Guard just had to take the gnarliest poop, and his pipes burst over our entire plug inventory, which at the time was only one shelf.
I'm instantly making any product we had unsellable.
We lost hundreds of dollars in product.
I just remember coming in and being like, why is everything wet? And him being like,
And Sam was just like, put on some gloves. I almost quit that day.
but he took it so silently and just like was such a champ about it and was just like, this is what I gotta do, and just put on like brave face, but inside, because he's like so clean, inside I know he was just like crying and dying, and afterwards he was just like, these hands.
We scrambled pretty quickly and got most of that taken care of, but it was pretty devastating and pretty gross.
Sam and I were so impressed by him. We're like, this kid is awesome. He's literally wading through shit.
But thinking about it now is hilarious. But yeah, that sucked really bad.
It was the worst Christmas for everybody.
I like feeling like I'm a part of a family. I get to come to work with people that like know me personally.
I can bounce an idea off of him or tell him to get something done, and it gets done. And that's number one for any quality in any business for me.
I don't know. He's a little ray of sunshine in my life.
I think it says a lot about him that he's stayed with the company for so long and that he just enjoys what he does and he finds enjoyment in the little things.
He's awesome. I'm so pumped he's still here. I'd be so bummed if he left. I guess he can leave and pursue life other places. No.
Like I said before, I feel like I'm a part of a team. My thoughts actually count here. It's pretty awesome working here.
He's a good dude. I wouldn't fire him.
My favorite person around the office most days is Sam, but he's not around all the time. Usually it's Quinn, our film guy, because we have similar sense of humor, and he's never in a bad mood.